welcome to Always More Nerd, where we take a break from the infinite possibilities to talk about the news, reviews, and previews of all things comic books, sci-fi, fantasy, and anything deemed nerdy. Today on the pod, we're talking about Miss Marvel, Thor, Obi-Wan, Stranger Things, Umbrella Academy, The Boys reviews, Namor reveal, Daredevil and Kingpin back from the dead, Rings of Power, and so much more. But first, I'm your host, Christopher Ford. Sitting across from me is my best friend in the whole world, Timothy Lichten.
Hello, hello.
We've got Jordan Bailey over here to my left.
What's happening?
And slightly more to my left, or less to my left? Less? More? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It's more to your left.
It doesn't matter. We got Justin Johnson. What's up, guys?
Hello, hello.
What's happening?
All right. So, first and foremost, we're going to ignore the intro a second ago that I messed up on.
I wasn't going to say anything.
We're just going to do
I was rocking with it.
So I'm very tired. I don't sleep very much, and I completely forgot that there was a drop in the song that's where I'm supposed to start. But you can fix all of it in editing anyway, so
Yes,
what's
I
it
can.
matter?
Yes.
So why give me a hard time?
I didn't say anything until
Yes, you
said-
did. You were like, nope, nope. Jordan Peele over here. Nope.
Nope.
Oh man. All right, guys. We have a packed show today.
So packed.
So much to do.
Yeah.
So much to do,
So
so
much
much
to
to
talk about.
say.
Yeah.
So much to do, so much to say.
We ready to just dive in?
Let's dive in.
Yeah.
Okay, so today we have some news stories, and everyone's got a news stories.
Yes.
It's not just me. So Jordan, you're first on
We're
the
gonna
top of
we're
the
gonna
list.
share the talking.
Yes, please take it away.
All right. Well, Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio are going to be in Echo,
Hey.
and
Yeah.
they are currently filming in Atlanta, and no date has been announced. So yeah.
It's like we knew they were coming back, but we didn't know if they're going to be in the show.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of knew that. I guess Kingpin was, but Daredevil not necessarily.
It makes sense for Daredevil, just considering his connection to both of those characters.
Yeah.
Now the real question is it the same as the Netflix Daredevil, or is it
Yes.
It's- yeah,
alternate
same.
universe?
Yeah, that is the question. Is like how
It's just gonna get
tight in.
dropped in. Yeah.
Are we just gonna assume that all of the Netflix Daredevil stuff happened in the MCU, or
I
is
feel
it
like-
I think they did.
I feel like
confirm
they're
it.
going to be like, we're going to take what we like and ignore what we don't like.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
Jessica
I can see
Jones, that the what's her name, Trish Walker in that.
Triss?
Yeah, her in
Oh,
the comics she's
yeah.
Patsy Walker Hellcat, which is great character, and that character was not great. They could be like, hey, we're going to just ignore all of that and just
Yeah.
not.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna be like, yeah, most of that stuff was right, but it's a different universe. That's
Yeah.
615.
We're gonna stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close, but
Cool.
So yeah.
All right. I got the next story for today. The Boys is having a spin-off coming out, and they're actually already recording right now.
I don't know how I feel about this either.
Yeah, we had an interesting conversation the other day. Someone on Twitter, or was it Reddit, they had mentioned something. It's like the irony in The Boys and its show is almost undermined by the fact that it's owned by Amazon.
I think the irony is made almost palpable.
Right.
Not undermined at all. Like, you can taste it when you walk by.
Well, and that makes you
Like-
wonder, like, do the Amazon execs just not pay attention? Like,
I don't feel like they know.
it's not. They don't care because they're making tons of money.
Yeah,
Right.
that's it.
It's
Like,
true.
They're like, what is that property that we're making a bunch of money off? Oh, yeah, The Boys. Right.
Yeah.
Great. Love
Yeah.
it.
It's like the
Keep doing what you're doing.
it's like the corporate ice cream or the billionaire ice cream cones. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Like some guy is selling these like not ice cream cones, but like, you know what I'm talking about, like the ones you can get at like ice cream trucks of like billionaires' faces, and it's like to eat off the rich, and it's like he's selling them for like $10 a pop, and it's like capitalism. Yeah, it's just like a reinforcement. It's like, yeah, we're against capitalism. $10 for this popsicle. Anyways, it's all in the same vein. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So anyways, according to Adam Bankhurst at IGN, the Boys spinoff that is part college show, part Hunger Games is officially called Gen V or 5.
V.
V.
Gen V.
It's like
V.
Compound V.
Oh, right. So here's the synopsis of the show. Set at America's only college exclusively for young adult superheroes, run by Vought International, of course. Gen V is an irreverent R-rated series that explores the lives of hormonal competitive soups as they put their physical, sexual, and moral boundaries to the test, competing for the best contracts in the cities. It's part college show, part Hunger Games, with all the heart, satire, and raunch of The Boys. Well,
So at what point do we stop watching shows like this on Amazon and they just straight up get moved to Pornhub? Like,
That's a good point.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like every time somebody's like, "Oh, we got this new show for Amazon," it started out as like Game of Thrones, which had sex like every other episode.
Yeah.
And then it was like, all right, now we got The Boys, which is like intense gore and violence and sex.
Yeah.
And now they're like, hey, this one's going to be even more hormonal than The Boys.
Yeah.
Like, where do you draw the line? Like, what is art and what is porn?
Yeah.
And there are people that would say that, there's no difference. But my daughter has access to my Amazon Prime account. That's why
I don't know the answer to
Hey, man,
this.
just set up a pin.
Yeah.
a PIN number for anything.
For everything, yeah.
You can actually set it by rating.
We'll
This
see.
is true.
What do we do for unrated stuff, though?
I don't know. That automatically gets blocked.
Oh, cool. All right, even better.
Yeah.
Cool.
I got nephews.
I need you to come hang out, show me how to put a PIN number in my thing.
That's true. Chris is a little
You
technical.
don't live far from me. We actually could have carpooled here. I just found that out today.
Yep.
All right, Chris, you got the next one.
Yeah, so DCEU is reportedly doing a reboot.
Make it happen.
Thank God.
Make it happen.
Burn it all to the
And
ground.
The best news about that is that they are still planning on basing Superman all around Henry Cavill.
Come on.
And they're going to make the DCEU based around Superman the way DC Comics was initially. Like,
yeah.
I mean, obviously it is spread into the Bat family and
It's
like
it's
7
more
different
Bat
Green
family than
Who?
Lanterns
Who's that?
and
Bat.
You're
my
funny.
gosh.
anyway.
So does that mean like a reboot, or is it like we're just
Probably,
gonna-
from what I understand, they are scrapping everything the DCEU has done up to this point, except for casting
Scorched
Henry
earth,
Cavill,
man.
It would make sense to do that coming out of Flashpoint.
Yeah.
Also,
which
just
if
throw
they're still going to
if
do
there
it.
is.
throw
yeah.
Ezra Miller out a window or something. I don't know. Out of
Give
out
him
of
10
window,
minutes. He'll do it himself.
straight to jail.
He's crazy.
This is true. Sadly.
But yeah, no.
Straight to jail.
I think that would be a good idea. He was a great Superman. I stand by the fact that Man of Steel was a good movie.
Yes.
It was.
It really was.
It was. Not as good as I wanted it to be, but still very,
Still.
very
It
good.
was
Yes.
too long. We could have cut out a good chunk in the middle, but it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Henry Cavill. I think my only concern is are they say they're restarting? Does that mean we're just totally forgetting Man of Steel and everything else? Because that kind of sucks. Because I really did enjoy like his revival in the Snyder Cut, and just like that
But
was
if
a
you're
really
scrapping everything, you got to get rid of the good and the bad.
Yeah.
That's what
No,
Scorched
and-
Earth means.
And I'm all for Scorched Earth. And we've
I'm all
seen
for
Superman's origin so many times. We can do it just like we did with Spider-Man. We don't
Oh, yeah.
need to know.
No.
We don't we know his origin. We know he came from Krypton on a rocket. Kent's raised him. All we need to know is in this timeline, are his parents alive, dead, one dead?
right.
yeah,
know,
like
whatever.
It could literally just start off as like him eating dinner at a table with his mom, and
Yeah.
they're just kind of looking at the empty seat where Jonathan was, and then
Yeah.
you hear a big boom, and he's like, "All right, I gotta go," and he just like
Right.
takes off.
Well, see, like if I remember correctly, in Snyder Cut, wasn't Lois pregnant? Am I wrong in that?
I've
Am
not
I remembering
seen
that?
that.
I
right?
don't think so.
I don't.
I don't know.
No.
I know they had sex
don't-
in a bathtub.
Well, I know they were definitely engaged. Well, yeah, that was a Man of
Yeah.
Steel. But they were okay. Maybe
That
I'm
was
wrong.
Batman
Maybe-
versus. I thought it was Batman versus Super. Wait.
Yeah, that's
It was
you're right.
Batman-
You're
yeah,
right.
it was
You're
the,
right.
BVS.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just remembering it wrong. I know they got engaged because she was wearing the ring, and then when he
Right.
came back to life, he was like, "I see you said yes" or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I
You need to
clearly,
watch-
You need to watch it.
Bro,
That's-
you know what?
This is the 4th episode that you said you were going to watch it.
This is true, but I haven't even watched Aquaman yet. I just was
You're
reminded.
not missing out on
Yeah,
anything.
I
you
just
don't
was
have to.
reminded-
It's a lot of like slow motion Jason
Oh.
Momoa shirtless,
and Amber
which I'm
Heard.
sure some people enjoyed, but
Yeah.
not for me.
It wasn't
Oh.
that great.
And I just was reminded that Birds of Prey existed, and I just really wanted to burn.
Did you watch that one?
No. Why would I watch that movie? We're about to start me on another
Honestly,
rant.
Ewan
man,
McGregor.
honestly, man, it wasn't that bad.
Okay,
It
I'm
wasn't- it
sorry.
wasn't horrible.
Wait, hold, pause. Cassandra Cain, one of my all-time favorite.
I know.
Oh,
that-
she's beautiful in it.
Oh, she is literally not Cassandra Cain. Just like, hey, we're
no,
gonna
they
slap this name on somebody.
entirely
Cassandra
rewrote
Cain,
the entire character.
Dinah Lance, whatever her name is in that Black Canary.
Yeah.
Batgirl, all of them. Like, yo, where Huntress? Where are my Birds of Prey? Gail Simone, man, her,
Yeah, not one of those characters was written correctly, except for Harley Quinn, and even that one was like, eh.
All right, we got to move on
Yeah.
before Justin here gets too mad.
Yeah, see,
bring us the
I'm-
last one, Justin.
All right, okay, we're gonna shift gears to something that makes me very happy. We just recently got some leaked art
Yes.
of Namor.
Bro.
Come on.
Can we talk about the Blue Atlanteans for a second?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I'm all about it.
Yes,
Not the
I'm
only
here
thing
for
that's
it.
leaked
I
either.
am. I'm excited for both comic book accurate Blue Atlanteans because Namor's half human, half Atlantean, which is why he looks very human. But also, there's also leaked art of Atuma, which was phenomenal.
Looks really cool. I really hope they stick to it.
And the wings. Namar's the feet wings, which are very weird. I'm not gonna lie, but
It's cool that we got it.
I'm really liking that. You know, we've seen this like whole Mayan influence, which I'm cool with. I like.
Was it Mayan or Aztec?
I feel like it was Aztec.
It might be Aztec, but as someone
let's find
Googles that.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jordan. You got it.
Just go to Twitter.
But either way, it's like, you know, I like that we're seeing influence from, you know, new like cultural representation there that it doesn't exist in the comics, but like nothing. He's just pure Atlantean there.
Yeah.
I am interested to see if will they make him a mutant now that we are starting to have
That's what I'm literally
that's a
reading
good question.
right now.
related things popping up.
Yeah.
I would think so, but only because I feel like they're trying to not have to shoehorn mutants into an already existing MCU. It's going to have to be one of those things where it's like after the blip, this stuff happened, or
it isn't.
like
I'm
after
interested to
the
see what they do.
convergence,
Yeah.
like all of the universes start colliding, and maybe that's what those. 'Cause I think it was in Black Panther, or no, not Black Panther. Endgame, where they were looking at the map of where all the issues were, and there were like earthquakes. and-
Earthquakes underground.
Yep. Well, in the ocean.
In the ocean, yeah.
And
Underwater,
it was
yeah.
like right where technically Atlantis would be.
So yeah, it'll be cool to see. Like I was hoping that was Atlantean related, and it'll be cool to see if that pays off. I know in the comics, Namor was often called, you know, like the first mutant, which I mean, obviously he wasn't, but it'll be cool to see if like he was old enough to have existed in World War II, and having that connection there, and B, if he's a mutant. But
Yeah. I think that'd be really cool.
yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, I think that was our shortest news. I like it. I think when everyone has a story, it goes by a little bit more. It's more streamlined.
Yeah.
You know.
When we're not just shooting off the hip.
You're right.
Talking about everything we heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, that was our news for the week. And in just one quick second, we will come back to talk about some reviews. So, be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back from that short break. And we are here to talk about reviews. And my God, we have a lot of things to review. So many things. I think in the middle of the summer, I was texting everyone. It's like, I feel like all of my favorite shows that I've been watching and all the new shows that I wanted to watch decided to all come out this year. Like all of those,
Yep.
like all of the COVID, like breaks finally caught up. Like everything that was halted was like, all right, let's just release it in 2022. And yeah.
Let it rip.
The first half was heavy.
Yeah.
Like I still haven't watched Umbrella Academy just because I haven't had time.
Yeah.
So
Make time.
All right.
it's getting there. It's getting there.
Make time. That is such a good show.
It's next up on
is.
the list.
All right, so we're gonna do this by universe. So we're just gonna start with the Marvel universe, and we'll talk about TV shows, and that is Miss Marvel, and that was just finished as we're recording last week, right? This past Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I think it was a really fun, different genre type of show.
I'm going to be honest with you, man. Truthfully, I think this was probably one of my favorite Marvel shows. Like, definitely
Overall,
top two, probably number one.
wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can go that far because I really love Hawkeye.
Yeah, give me
That-
some
that's what I'm
general
saying, like-
reactions. General reactions, and we'll kind of deep dive a little bit.
I liked it. Like it was, even though it's like tailored more to kids, it was still easy to keep up with, like, and watch. And I like the editing, like all the different VFX in there, like that were following her as she was texting.
Oh,
what's his name? Yeah, just the little things like that really stuck out to me, and
Which I do feel like that fell off later in the season.
it did. Like I think halfway.
I think that was an intentional decision, though, because, like, the more she grows and focuses on
Yes.
being a superhero, the less she can text her friends and
Yeah.
worry about being just a regular teenager,
This
you
is
know?
true.
Yeah, no,
It's very much like Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same way.
Same. Yeah.
or Scott Pilgrim.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Scott
Yeah.
Pilgrim.
That
Yeah.
too.
Also one of my favorite movies of all time.
All right, well, let's talk about some specifics of the show. Let's talk about her powers and the power changes. Now that we're on this side of the show, how do we feel about her power changes?
I'm here for it. I was here for it from the get-go, but I think one of the main reasons they did this was to really separate her from Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Having another stretchy person. Also,
Some stretchy pants.
CGI,
Elongated,
I
man.
feel like having like some sort of energy light based power looks better for things like that, and her floating inside of that
Yeah.
looks better than weird amorphous disproportionate I have one giant hand
Yeah.
or I have one giant hand that I forgot to shrink back down. That kind of shenanigans, I think it also would just probably helps for budgetary reasons too.
That's facts. Yeah.
Yeah, I've read a lot of stuff about Marvel not being the best when it comes to like their VFX
Don't get me started.
people. So,
Yeah. No,
so something
I've
that
heard
they
that.
can save money on and do quickly and not have to worry about like each individual hair and skin cell stretching and all of that. Like,
Yeah.
let's just throw some crystals around it and then make it bigger.
Make it big.
Easy.
Yeah. No, I honestly I think it translated really well, and I liked the way that they have her. She's like running across like platforms in the sky rather than stretching and walking like Stiltman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point. So one of the things I think I enjoyed about this show, I heard this from, I can't remember what's his name, at comicbook.com. He talks about how he felt like this show was really good at just being character driven, but whenever there was the Marvel-ness of it, he didn't enjoy it as much. And I actually think I was on the same boat. Like whenever it went to like the Marvel lore of everything, I felt like it was kind of not rushed, but just it didn't mesh very well. I really enjoyed getting to love her, getting to see her family, and especially was it episode 5? I did enjoy that. I love seeing this new perspective, her being Muslim American. I think the show really benefited from that, and so. But whenever they try to do too much Marvel-y feel of it, I don't know. I felt kind of off to me.
So I'm not super familiar with Kamala Khan as a character or the Marvels
And that's
at
why I
all.
enjoyed it, because I didn't know that
And
much.
yeah, just going into it, I have like a base knowledge of her as a person, and based on like one of my daughter's shows, she watches Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, or Spidey and His Amazing Friends.
too.
So like seeing that version of her versus the Miss Marvel version is kind of a little bit trippy, but I really enjoyed getting to see her develop from scratch
Yeah.
as this brand new character, essentially a brand new character to the Marvel Universe anyway.
Right.
Because powers are different, backstory's a little bit different, all of that. Episode 5, I think, the one where she went back and got to see her family, that one really got me, like, emotionally. Just because,
Yeah.
like, I have a daughter, and I could not
Exactly.
imagine losing my daughter in a crowd like that. Like,
Ugh.
oh, my God.
It's like, dude, why was your hand not like strapped around her
Yeah.
like the whole time?
How
It
did
made me
how did
mad.
you let that happen?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, you're the worst father ever.
Oh god.
But no, truthfully, it was just like a really emotionally pleasant show. Like it took you on a roller coaster, but it was like a gentle ride roller
Yeah,
coaster.
yeah.
Like not too much happened, but you still get all of the good feels. I love this show.
Yeah.
I loved it.
What about the villains? I felt like that was kind of weird. Like, because there was
Oh.
there was almost like 3 different
Not-
villains depending on when you watched.
It wasn't really explained either, like their powers or it was like where they came from and who they are, but it was just like
It's like, hey, we're from an alternate dimension.
Yeah,
one
it's
of
like,
many.
what?
Cool.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would say I think that
You are
was the
not only
weakest.
one stuck here.
Yeah, it's like that was the weakest part of the show for sure for me was the villains, and I get that they wanted to use that as a way to like explain the origin of her powers and how everything came
Right.
down.
But then they were gone by episode 5.
But and then they lose at the end of episode 5. It's like that plot line is tied up, and damage control shifted from like a background thing to the main antagonist
Right,
at the
yes.
end. Which also, sorry, let's talk about damage control. It's like, yo, y'all are trying to kill some kids, bro.
Yes.
Like
In a school.
non-lethal. Like,
They're-
yo, those things are shooting the corners off of walls. I'm like,
Yes.
Speaking of, weren't those like the same kind of devices that was used in the Incredible Hulk?
Yep.
yep.
they were.
Oh yeah, the cannon.
Yeah.
Yep. I saw that and I was like, oh, yep,
No,
nice whole
they're
callback.
thinking that lady. I saw a theory on Twitter that they're thinking that I can't remember her name, but the girl, what's her name?
In charge of damage control?
Yes,
Or that
yeah,
part of it?
That part of it. She's gonna trans over to what's the
Oh,
sword from WandaVision?
Sword.
Since old
Oh.
boy is in that top. Since she's like corrupt and like wants to,
Oh, I thought you would assume, what is it? Not Thunderbolts.
yeah, that too.
I mean, I don't see.
She
I don't
didn't
see.
really have a
I don't
power,
see.
though.
No,
any-
but like be like an administrator or something
Yeah,
like that.
something
Like
along that,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Maybe.
I-
I
I-
don't see
I-
Sword and
I feel-
Thunderbolts being too far apart.
Yeah. No, I mean I feel like their Sword has a much different. I guess we got our MCU Sword versus comic Sword.
Right,
That's what I'm saying.
But no, I feel like Sword is still definitely like Furies in space. So there's definitely some space focus going on there, versus. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like she's probably just like a one and done character. Honestly, she wasn't a great character. She wasn't a bad character, but she served a purpose. I don't feel like she's this character who they're like, yeah, we got to totally bring her back. She
Truthfully,
wasn't-
though, I thought that about Sharon Carter.
Sharon Carter,
I
think
thought they were just going to write her off, and
it's
never
because
bring
she
her up
has so
again.
much comic potential. The villain turn was interesting. With her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when she's the power broker.
The Power Broker
So-
was
That
a
was cool.
surprising twist.
That's what I thought. Like, I thought they were just going to, like, write her off and be done with her after Captain America, and then they brought her back. I was like, oh, that's a cool little callback.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, she's the power broker. I was like, oh, snap. I did not see that coming.
and
Get
yeah,
it? Nazi.
nice. Now I feel like the villains were definitely the weakest part of the show. I think that one thing that we see with damage control and the reaction to kids with powers is it's super over the top. And as the viewer, you're watching that and you're like, how does this happen?
Right.
But you know what the parallel is?
Black people in America.
Yes, but that was not the parallel I was going for. But I'll allow it.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, because we're still taking the discrimination.
Stop resisting.
The
I'm just
discrimination.
laying here.
The discrimination angle. Mutants.
Oh, yeah.
So because like
100%.
the big thing is in the Marvel universe, it's like if you look at it from the outside, you're like, okay, there's all these people with powers. Why are mutants such a problem? But then all of a sudden you're like, okay, just random anybody can get powers, not these like. And all of a sudden it's like, oh shoot, we got to control them. We got to, with them dropping the M word or a version of it, mutation, at the end. That guitar riff.
Yes.
My girlfriend was sitting on the couch next to me, and I like looked at her, and she was like, "What?" I was like, "You don't care, but this is important to me."
Same. I literally said, "Oh
All right, guys,
shit."
look, I don't want to tell
yeah.
y'all how to live your lives, but y'all might want to break up. If she didn't get excited about that.
It went right over Tier's head.
Hey,
I already put Janelle on notice, too. I'm just kidding.
Well, let's talk about episode 6 then, because that's where we kind of dive into a lot of these little Easter eggs and big things. We talk about mutation.
I feel like episode 6 was all Easter eggs.
actually,
Pretty
can we
much.
actually take with Easter eggs, where they show the first episode for Aisha getting the bangle,
Yeah, go ahead.
blue arm. She pulled off a blue arm. It's a Kree.
Oh,
Kree or blue.
Yeah.
Blue arm. Now, my theory is, and I'm like 99% sure on this, that they are the Negabands, which have constantly been associated with both Captain Marvel in the comics and Quasar, which, if you don't know who that is,
I don't.
no judgment, because the 90s were weird. But there's a portion where Marvel's son, Genisfell, was Captain Marvel, and he would switch places with Rick Jones, Hulk's friend. He had the Negabands, and every time he touched them together, they would switch places. But they also could function out of just one. And they mentioned there's two of them. They only found the one.
So it's
It was on
only
a
doing
Kree.
Yeah.
And they were created by the Kree. And in the end, we see her switch places with Carol Danvers.
yeah.
Who's Captain Marvel mysteriously. And I'm like, oh,
Now, did she have a band with her when she came through?
she didn't.
No.
She didn't. No, but like they've generally always been connected to the
Right.
Marvels on some level. And I was like, oh, okay, this actually makes. At first I thought I was like, oh, that could be a Negaband because they've been bringing in. Kevin Feige's previously said how much of a fan he is of all the cosmic stuff. So I'm like, this is exactly the time to
Right.
start bringing this stuff in. But also, did you notice the 10 circles on the ground?
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
is this connected to the 10 rings? Random space shenanigans?
Yeah, something's got to be tying in soon.
I'm like, I'm, and we saw Captain Marvel in the end credit scene of Shang-Chi, so I'm hoping we're getting some tie in there.
Right.
See, that's the thing that bothers me about these Marvel movies being released so close together and with so much knowledge, like all the little mini Easter eggs, because Marvel knows that we know this.
Yeah.
Oh,
They are constantly putting things in there just to like mess with the nerds, and then it has nothing to do with
Yes.
anything.
Yeah, don't even start on WandaVision.
Well, what's
Yes.
what's upsetting, not upsetting, but it's just frustrating is that we're in phase 4 now. And so it's not like we're back in phase 1 where it's like we don't have any of this back knowledge. Now we're like, we're expecting something else to connect and everything. We're expecting those tie-ins.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they are planning that.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of frustrating. It's like, I want to be in phase 5.5 right now. Like, that's where I want to be as far as my knowledge.
Yeah, and I think it's good. Well, the way I've been looking at it is kind of like phase 4 is kind of like phase 1 again.
Yeah.
It's like we're in an entirely new generation. We're rebuilding from the ground up. All your end credit scenes, all of your tie-ins,
They're new.
they're new.
fresh,
You're building
yeah.
up, and I feel like we're building up to two things. I mean, there's obviously some sort of like Secret Wars-esque conflict building from Doctor Strange, but I think there's also some sort of cosmic conflict, maybe like Annihilation War based or something like that. That's also building up.
Or with the DCEU restarting,
Oh my God.
could be the amalgams.
Oh gosh, absolutely never. But like, I feel like we're building up to, rather than what something huge like Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah,
More
yeah.
so like two separate things, and kind of, or one on the cosmic side and one on the not so cosmic side.
I
That's,
could, you know, I
that's
could
kind of
actually,
how Infinity War and Endgame were. Yeah.
I could actually see that as like you would have these two bigger films being cosmic and one just being the other one just like in phase 5, and then phase 6 is the accumulation of everything together.
Yeah.
I could see it kind of somehow crossing paths. That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going with episode 6. One of the few things I noticed was the toffee box, the box that she gave, the mom gave to Kamala. It was the toffee boxes that her mother had saved around the house that she gave her not the costume, but the uniform. We talked about damage control weapons, Embiggen.
She did say Embiggen.
Embiggen.
I heard it.
And post credits, we kind of already touched on that with Captain Marvel. What are we feeling about the Marvels movie?
I liked her new costume.
Yeah.
I feel like every time, I feel like it's more. It's like less of, because her costume was originally just like a Kree uniform, and I feel like she's moving away from that into like more of her own thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, that's cool. Just a side note.
I'm about it.
Cool.
I like it.
All right, well, let's move on.
I also like her haircut. I was not a fan of the
Yes.
and you know, and I feel like
I agree.
I feel like what they did in Infinity War and Endgame, all that stuff was done.
It was done out of order. That's why her hair was different.
That is why her hair was different. But I think that you know, they tried to go for like a more comic book accurate haircut, but I just don't think that haircut works for Brie Larson,
Right.
as well as it does for the character.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yep.
All right, well, moving on with Marvel, a movie came out by the title of Thor, Love and Thunder. Now, you have not seen it, Christopher?
I have not.
All right, well,
haven't had time.
we don't
and
care.
It kills me.
It kills you?
It kills me that I haven't seen it.
Well, let's do general reactions for us that have seen it. Let's go with you first, Justin.
I think I'm sitting around 7.5 out of 10. It was a very enjoyable movie. It had its flaws. It had its great parts. But yeah, it wasn't what I expected,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is fine. But you know,
Right. Jordan?
I would say 7 out of 10. Kind of what Justin said is like, I was expecting more villain than jokes. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of jokes that were like, okay, you know, this is funny, but there's a few jokes that are just like, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
there were so many jokes. The
So
jokes
many
had jokes.
yeah,
I don't know how I
it's
feel
like,
about Thor being the comedy out of all of the
Yes.
Marvel
That's
movies.
the
Well, I don't mind it, but it was just like in this film, it felt like Taika was unleashed. And and Taika knows how to ground things. He knows how to, like, if you've seen Jojo Rabbit, if you've seen Into the Hunt for the Wilder People, you know that he can have that tug for sure. But it felt like it was almost like this movie needed to be a little bit longer.
Yes,
like it was an
short
hour and a
too.
half long.
Yeah.
It needed to be, I think, 2, so that way he didn't have to interrupt all those things with jokes. I think that's where a lot of the frustration was
Isn't
on my
there-
part.
I don't know if y'all saw this. He's like got a cut that's like more serious.
Oh, does he?
That's
I
Or
heard
at least the Watiti cut.
No. But he said that there's no such thing. He's not doing a director's cut. He said he thinks director's cuts are stupid.
okay.
Yeah, he said he was like trash. Like he said he had like 4 hours worth of stuff,
Fair.
but it was
Yeah.
just like, kind of whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think a 7.5 was kind of where I was at too, because I enjoyed it watching it. But I remember walking out of it was the same way I walked out of The Last Jedi. Is I remember watching it and enjoying it, but I was like,
Oh, The Last
What?
Jedi was a 10 out of 10 for me.
well, you're
I
different.
love Last
but-
Jedi.
Same, dude.
I
It's the
love
best Star
I
Wars
was all
movie.
about it.
Best Star Wars movie.
I wouldn't say best, but it's
I-
up there.
I would say second best at worst.
Empire?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll give it to you.
Okay, we're
As
not
long
gonna,
as
we're not, we're
Empire's
not
number
gonna fight
Yeah,
about
we're
this
gonna
now.
transition.
As long as Empire's number one.
But my point was is like I remember just feeling off about it, and I remember like just kind of go back and just try to think about everything. But yeah, good, not great is where I would that 7.5. I want a little bit more from Gore. I think Christian Bale was phenomenal. I think he really was one of the best villains as far as his ability to be that villain. I just don't think we got enough of him.
No.
Yeah, I would have.
Controversial take. I'm gonna say 3 out of 10, and Gore was the worst part of the movie.
Okay. Shut up. No, I think I would have liked to have seen like a more God killing.
That, exactly.
Like, for a guy
More
called
dead gods would be good.
yeah, but no, for a guy called the God Butcher, we
Well-
saw him kill one god
Yeah.
in the whole movie.
There
Just
was
one.
2 that were cut out of the movie. He was supposed to go and kill. There was
Oh.
a shot that he was supposed to go kill. What's the guy's name?
Grandmaster.
The Grandmaster and somebody else, but it was cut from the movie.
Yeah,
Peter,
and
what's his name? The guy,
Quill.
huh?
Quill.
No.
No, I was thinking about the actor. The guy who plays in Endgame, the giant
Collector.
Collect.
No,
No.
No.
No, that's Benicio del Toro.
What's his phrase? Eitri, the dwarf.
Yes.
Who
Yes,
built
yes.
Stormbreaker. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm glad we didn't get that because I don't want to kill the Grandmaster. I mean, because the Grandmaster and the Collector are both.
Well, the collector's dead.
Is he
Didn't
dead?
Thor or
Thanos killed him.
Did Downs kill him?
Yeah.
Did he kill him? Oh. Okay. Elders of the
If
Universe.
not, it kind of looked that way.
He was definitely.
I guess we
dead.
didn't see a body, but
I mean, technically, they are cosmic beings.
Yeah, they're
so
elders of the universe. I like to keep them
They're
around. for a little
probably
bit.
not dead.
Yeah, I like to see them pop up again.
okay. Oh, one of the things I did like about this, and I definitely did feel throughout it, Chris Hemsworth had both his daughter and his son in the movie.
There was a lot of kids.
And
in
his
this
brother.
movie.
Oh, that's
And his
right.
brother.
That's right. Forgot about that. And
Liam, or the other one?
The other one,
the
Whose
other.
name I do not know.
the same.
Yeah.
but he's the guy who plays Thor in the plays.
Yeah, he looked familiar too. I was like, wait, he looks very. And then
Was
I was
Matt
like, sure
Damon in
enough.
it?
Yep, and
Yeah.
Matt Damon.
Yes.
And what's his name?
Matt Damon.
Jurassic Park. Neil.
Neil.
The guy who's Grant, who plays Grant.
Grant. Yeah. What's his name?
Bro, I'm
I don't
drawing a
know.
blank.
That's
Nope.
him.
Yep, by him. Yep.
Him. He was in it. Yeah,
we
he
all
was
know
back
who he is.
Dr. Grant.
And then what's her name? Who played his sister in the play?
Oh,
Uh,
who played Hela?
you know her. And I can't think of her name. Oh my gosh.
I'm terrible with names.
I'm horrible at this
I'm
too.
no
And
help.
And I haven't seen the movie, so I can't
I
help
know.
you.
I know.
Yeah, I have her face in my head. Oh, but also, I was gonna say, if you guys watched any of the shorts with Thor and his roommate
Oh yeah,
Doug, Dave,
starts with a D.
it's a D.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but yeah,
It's not Doug. Doug is the
Yep, Doug was from.
you're right. You're
yeah.
right. Anyways, but
But
yeah,
yeah, he's in it too.
Taika loves to bring in
He's
all
a
these
tour
random
guide?
people.
Yeah.
he's a tour guide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like New
That's so
Asgard.
great.
Yeah, so there's that, and then okay, any details about the movie you guys really liked or didn't hate?
Oh, the God party. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, we had so many references. I didn't catch any Egyptian gods. I was
No.
thinking from Moon Knight.
Yeah.
I'll have to go see it again where I can like slow it down like once it comes out.
Uh-huh.
But we did have Bast.
Yep.
From we definitely had some other gods who were
There's a samurai god in there too.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was something that looks like maybe Aztec, hey, maybe.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
But definitely a lot of references to other pantheons who exist in the Marvel universe. It was nice
Right.
to see a lot of those get some like subtle representation that we haven't seen in the MCU, but it'd be like, oh, all of these gods do exist out there,
Right.
and they are all fair game.
Yeah.
Speaking of gods,
Huh?
Speaking of gods,
Let's talk about it. I had to make sure I get their name right because my boy Roy Kent, he's
Roy
here.
Kent.
He's there.
I started
He's
singing the song. I started singing the song. Literally in the theater, I was like,
Roy Kent.
So,
What's happening right now?
so Chris, because you haven't watched Ted Lasso, you're not going to enjoy this as much.
Roy Kent.
But Brett Goldstein has not only been cast, but we see him in it was the first post credit.
Yep.
And he plays Hercules.
Hey.
In a
Yeah.
very comic book accurate
Yes.
outfit, mace and all. I was very
He
impressed.
looked
Everything.
really good.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
looked really
some
good.
people were like trashing her on Twitter, and I was like, "Y'all suck. I don't care about
Yeah,
you."
Yeah.
I loved it.
I loved
So
it too.
I have a theory though that his brother, Ares, because we saw Ares' head in Ragnarok so we know Ares is floating around out there, so
Right.
doing some shenanigans. I have a feeling it's going to end up being like a Hercules Thor conflict. That's going to be, hey, we're fine, and we're going to fight Ares in the end.
Yeah.
In the future, because that's how it goes. And
I wonder. I know it's going to be a while before we get our next Thor film, but Chris Hemsworth has said he's pretty much down to do as much as we want him to go.
Yeah. Tell the fans.
Do we think we're going to start seeing him like mess around with like Eternals, especially with like Harry Styles'
Star Fox.
no.
Star Fox.
Wait, is that his name?
That is his name.
Yeah.
Also Eros.
That's Arrows. Yeah.
Yes,
Arrows.
That's his name. It's called Star
But
Fox.
Star
Yeah.
Fox was when he was on the Avengers. He was Star Fox. He's a rapist.
Right. But now that we're getting all these
100%.
cosmic tie-ins, you would think because they introduced Hercules, you got Thor here, especially if Hercules is now on the hunt for Thor, which I don't think he will be, but I think it's something like that's going to play out.
I feel like that's kind of like the Marvel trope of like, hey, we're heroes, we're against each other, we're gonna fight, and then we're gonna team up.
Right.
We're going to realize that we're not so different, you and I.
Yes.
And Hercules has both been a member of both the Avengers and he's a current member of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like we could see some
Yeah.
fun shenanigans there.
I just can't wait to hear his growl as Hercules. Just if you've watched Ted Lasso, he's got this like I can't even do it. It's so deep and
It's so deep.
it's so good. Yeah, I really enjoyed. I was the same way when it came to like some of the moments just felt kind of bland, but there was definitely a lot of heartfelt moments. I was really not surprised, but I did. Granted, I have had my grandfather had cancer when I was younger, but the way they treated Jane, I think, was respectful. The way with the cancer and how that all came out.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the moments that Thor and Jane had, and I also really enjoyed the fight scene on what's that planet? It's not really. It is a planet, but the
At Eternity's home, whatever.
no,
It's,
on the dead planet.
yeah,
Whatever,
the
yeah.
color in that was
So good.
That was really cool. It had a Sin City vibe.
yes.
Can't
Yeah.
wait to watch it.
Well, Chris.
Jane was pretty good too. Jane, she did really good.
Natalie Portman.
I knew she was gonna die though.
man.
It was like for the
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
kinda felt
she's
bad.
not
I think
making
my
out in this
favorite thing
movie.
to come out of all of this was Taika Waititi asked Natalie Portman to be in his Star Wars show, and she was like, "I'm already in Star Wars." Oh right.
I forgot.
Yeah,
Ugh.
but yeah, I mean,
Three
that,
films.
but that's the funny thing. It's like because I was like, oh yeah, I know she was, but I would have made the same mistake because you kind of forget.
Yeah,
But
They become the characters. It's not
Right.
the
Yeah.
actors that you're looking at.
yeah, and it was so long ago, dang. But I really liked Natalie Portman. She did a really good job of even just portraying her look
yeah.
as Thor and her look as dying Jane, like when she looks more like gaunt.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And she looked skinnier, and like I don't know if they filmed the scene separately or some
CGI.
CGI tricks, but like
it was good.
But
It
she
looked good.
her arms were looking pretty good, and those weren't CGI arms. Like
No,
as
they,
Thor.
they asked
Yeah.
her to put on like 25
Yeah,
pounds
she
of
was-
solid
she was
muscle
kinda
before
I
swole.
they
was like,
started
hello,
filming.
Natalie Portman.
Yeah. but like I really liked how well they did that.
I just wish we got to see her transform into Mighty Thor, like getting the hammer, and
Yeah,
it was kind of just like they did shoot it, but it didn't make it into the cut.
yeah.
I can't wait for them to release all these deleted scenes.
And that's what he did say. He said he's got a lot of deleted scenes, but he's not going to like try to make it all canon or anything.
Yeah, and I think that's good. I mean, because
That's
you know
fine.
some scenes are great, but
Yeah.
if it wasn't in the original movie, I don't want it to. You can go down the road, not just him, but like Feige or whoever. You can
Yeah.
go down the road and be like, "Hey, we shot this thing, we didn't use it. Now I have a different idea for this character who may or may not be dead or
Right.
whatever."
All right. Well, speaking of how we're feeling about it, let's wrap up this Marvel section by talking about our Phase 4 rankings thus far. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think we only have 3 more movies in Phase 4 to come out. We have Wakanda. We have potentially Fantastic Four, but that's questionable,
When does the Marvels come out?
Marvel's
that's
is
the other one.
2023,
right?
February?
Because isn't Ant-Man supposed to be Phase 5, or is that
No,
Phase 4 too?
Ant-Man's Phase 4.
Okay, so we have 4 more.
Probably
Potentially 4.
towards the end of Phase 4.
Yeah.
So let's go around the table. Chris, you've seen one less than us
Yep.
on this list. So let's start with just Jordan.
I was like, you're pointing at me.
I am pointing at you. Well, I didn't see all your
I
things
didn't
on the
put it in
list,
there.
so
I
that's
didn't
why I
put it in
didn't. I paused there for a
Oh,
second.
Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3.
Oh, you're right.
Forgot about that.
I forgot about.
Sorry, I was
Is that December? When is that?
Wait, I thought they were. Wait,
Guardians says May 5th, 2023.
Yeah,
I totally forgot about that.
So yeah, we've got
because they got a Christmas thing.
Probably
out
with
too.
good
yeah.
reason.
So we got Black
Yeah.
Panther, Ant-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, then the Marvels.
There's a lot I didn't think about.
Is the last, other than Fantastic Four, which is TBA. Considering the
Yeah.
lack of
There's some
director, I don't
shows
think we'll
too,
get
right?
that next year.
Yeah.
She-Hulk is that?
She-Hulk
That's
is
August.
She-Hulk is
She-Hulk is
August.
coming
That's
this
gonna be
year.
dope. I'm excited. Okay, so let's talk about Phase 4 rankings, where we kind of feel about everything. Let's go try to do this quickly because we're 30 minutes into it and we still got a lot more. So let's start with Jordan. What's your 13th one? Is that what it is?
13th reason.
Is Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Wait, Hawkeye's at the bottom?
Hawkeye's
What?
at the bottom.
Wait, hey, we're gonna go outside. We're gonna fight,
It's a little bit lower on my list
You
too. It's
shut
not last,
your
but
dirty
I
mouth.
Bro.
bro. I'm done. I
But
quit.
Chris, you love Christmas more than like any human on the face of the earth. So
I'm not a big Christmas fan. If
I
that, me neither.
I hate Christmas, and I'm gonna tell you, Hawkeye's probably top 5. Christmas can go die in a fire for all I care.
Wow.
Justin, let's get your controversial number 13. Oh, you did differently from me. Never mind. It's not 13. I thought you put Shang-Chi for a second. Shang-Chi as 13 for a second.
See, I started on the list as mine being first to last. No, Shang-Chi is definitely number 1 for me.
Spoilers.
yeah.
Spoilers, yes. Unsurprisingly, it's Black Widow.
Yeah.
Black Widow was not a bad movie, but
Yeah. That's my number 13 too. I feel like it was just lacking a lot, and
Yeah.
it's weirdly placed as far as the MCU goes.
for sure.
And there's a whole lot of crappy reasons why it is, but
yeah, I watched it twice, and the third time will probably be happenstance.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I'm scrolling through the TV and it just happens to be on.
yeah. Chris, what's your number 12? Your last one,
My last one. Okay, I had to count in my head.
because we did 13, so we're.
I feel like Justin's ready to fight me already.
oh boy,
It's Eternals, truthfully.
okay.
Wow.
Like again, not a bad.
Wow.
There's nothing on this list that I hated, but Eternals for me just it didn't fall where I wanted it to fall. There wasn't really too much behind it. There's a lot more questions left behind than answers for
And
me.
I can't fight you on that. As much as I enjoyed it, I understand.
Like let's talk about
It's
that.
not like Hawkeye where Jordan's
Let's talk
just
about
entirely
that giant
wrong.
head and hand sticking out of the ocean now. Like what are we doing about that?
Nobody.
Yeah,
Because that's not been mentioned since.
I do believe that we talked to I guess that was on the podcast, but there was a timeline that they released. So most of the things haven't hit that point in the timeline.
Oh, so is Eternals just further on in the timeline? Is that
I'm sorry, I was trying to pull up the timeline right now. Here we go. So yeah, so Eternals takes place after Shang-Chi, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and WandaVision. So No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness both take place after Eternals.
I feel like Doctor Strange could have. I don't know.
yeah, but like
All I want is somebody to be like, and now there's a giant head sticking out of the ocean.
so the
That's all you gotta say.
Yes.
That's it. That's it.
Yes.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah. I mean,
One
and
throwaway line.
I feel like it would just be a throwaway line. I would rather someone like actually talk about it.
Right.
You know, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, and Miss Marvel all take place after it, but those are all very self-contained, and with all the placement we get in relation to the other Marvel universes, all very background
Right.
as to TV screens,
I mean,
billboards, especially in
guess,
Moon Knight.
Yeah.
So it's like I want it to be addressed, but I want it to be addressed like maybe in the Marvels when you come to Earth.
That's a good point.
And Carol Danvers hasn't been on Earth in a while. She's like, why is there a giant celestial?
Yeah.
Like, why is there a dead celestial sticking out of the
Who
Earth?
did this?
Yeah.
You know?
So
Are we not going to talk
we,
about this?
Yeah. All right, Jordan. Let's keep it going. Number
Right.
12.
Black Widow.
All right. Any thoughts? Just
Yeah.
Black
Yeah,
Widow.
I mean, we just talked about it. So
Yeah.
I mean,
All right, Justin, you're number 12.
I'm still mad. What if?
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, you and me are really close here because that's my number 12 as well.
Oh, whoa! I'm looking at your list. Oh, we're gonna fight next round.
That's just the hard part behind all these things. There's a lot of great things, and it's hard
Yeah.
to sometimes rank them. But yeah, What If was just it was fine. You know, it was cool to see Doctor Strange's story. Like,
Yes.
I think that was my favorite part in What If.
Yes.
But everything else was just
I think for what it was.
oh, and
zombies.
Yeah.
well, I was gonna say Chadwick Boseman, like he phenomenal.
Yes.
Oh,
that was
Star-Lord.
yes,
yeah,
yes,
that was
Boseman as
great.
Star-Lord,
They had
yeah.
actually talked about doing a TV show about his Star-Lord.
That would have been
Man.
so good.
Yeah, I know. It's
I'm
one of
so
those things
sad.
that
Bummer. Okay.
never had the chance to come to fruition.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Chris, you're number 11.
My number 11 would be, Black Widow. Like I said, Black Widow, great movie. Everything about all of these movies, amazing. Loved them. So great. Black Widow just, it was
Bottom of
another
the
one of
list?
those,
Yeah.
like you were saying earlier, just felt out of place.
Yeah.
I did really like the relationship between Black Widow and her sister.
Yes.
Yelena.
Oh, Florence Pugh. She's
Pugh.
great. I love her.
I also really like the discussion about the vest.
Yes.
Every 5
Got
minutes. like,
pockets.
this is my favorite vest.
All-
You were just jealous.
Also,
Look at all
the
the
landing.
pockets.
The landing.
Yeah. landing.
Making
You're
fun of
such
our
a
landings.
poser.
Why do you always land like that?
All right, moving on. Jordan, what you got for number 11?
Did I just delete?
Did
You just delete
it
your
all?
whole list.
It's What If. Okay,
Oh.
I remember it. Yeah, What If. I think it was just great for what it was as itself, like great, but it's just one of those things there at the bottom.
All right.
So
Justin?
Let's see what's next on my list. This is going to be controversial.
It is a little controversial here.
Doctor Strange.
Wow, that is pretty low for that movie.
And here's the thing.
Same page.
The reason why it's so low isn't that I have low reviews of that movie. It's like I think everything else I just enjoyed
Yeah.
more. Like that's the thing is I probably got a lot more enjoyment. I get more enjoyment. I have more grace for a Marvel movie than some other people, just as my growing up on Marvel comics and them hitting all of those check boxes.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange hit a lot,
Right.
and I really enjoyed it a lot. I will watch it again. So that's not a diss. I just really love some
Yeah.
stuff that
Yeah.
some other people didn't.
Okay. All right. Mine, and look, some of y'all might hate me for this one, but Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And the only reason is because I wanted more of Captain America. I wanted
I hear
more of
you.
him in his costume. And
I hear you.
I know this story was necessary to get there.
hear
I
you.
hear that.
He's got a whole movie coming out of it, though.
I know. But that's the reason why it's so low for me, is because I really enjoyed, what's his name? Mackie as Captain America. I really enjoy him, and I
Yeah.
wanted more of that. And I felt like, and I really like Bucky. I enjoy him as a character, but I don't know. I feel like the movie I'm going to like a lot more.
That was almost number one for me. I had to think really hard about that.
Yeah, same.
Interesting.
For me, it's up
high.
there.
All right, Chris, you're number 10.
All right. What if?
Mm.
Yeah. Just, same reasons.
Yeah.
Yep.
I enjoyed some of the stories, but it didn't really hit.
Yeah, you got Eternals for me, number 10.
Eternals. Okay.
Also, Eternals.
Eternals.
My number 10 is Hawkeye. I was kind of the same way with Jordan. I just, it was fine. I'm personally like,
Yeah.
I enjoyed a lot of the fun parts of it, but
I like Kate Bishop. She's cool.
these Marvel shows are a hit or miss for me.
Kate Bishop.
I love
Full
Kate
name.
Bishop.
Every time, the full name.
Yeah.
Hello, Kate Bishop.
Bishop.
Are you just saying my name to prove that you know? Yes, Kate Bishop.
Kate Bishop.
Chris, number 9.
For me, that was Doctor Strange.
Mm.
It again, same as Justin. Like it was a good movie. It hit some boxes, but I enjoyed the other stuff more.
Miss Marvel.
Marvel. Okay.
Enjoyed it. So I actually did not put Miss Marvel anywhere on my list
Oh,
because
wow.
wait, listen, because I finished it literally 14 hours ago, and I need time for that to settle to figure out where that actually lands on my list. Like
It'll be
I
up there.
just watched it.
It'll be up there.
Oh no! I know it's gonna be up there. I've got a weird block where I don't know where some things are fluid, like as to like where I would actually rank them, and
okay.
it's gonna fall in that block.
Okay.
So I just don't know. It's just like I need some time to think about it and really like divorce myself from having just seen it and come off that high. But
Yeah.
so
So you're off one then for us.
me and Chris have the same number right now.
Oh, okay.
So then next up for me would be Thor.
Thor. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair
I mean,
enough. I'm looking at the rest of the list. I'm like,
you look at the rest of my list, you're like, yeah, you can't fault me for any of it.
yeah.
Other
Okay.
than Falcon and Winter Soldier, which you hated apparently, but it's fine.
I didn't hate it. Okay. Next up, for me, it would be Miss Marvel.
Yeah, fair.
Okay.
Chris.
For me, next would be WandaVision.
Man, that's
I really
low.
liked it. Again, I just like the other stuff more.
wow.
Fair.
All right,
Yeah.
Jordan.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
That's halfway in your list.
Yeah, it's halfway.
You guys hating on me.
I'm still hating on you. That's,
Yeah.
that's really low.
I'm hating on you for sure.
Yeah, I didn't. No. I'm not doing myself
Don't
anymore.
even-
I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
dig a deeper hole. Justin, go ahead.
Okay, so you see where it is on my list, but it's a toss up between Hawkeye and Loki. I really enjoyed both of those very much, and I don't know which one I enjoyed more.
I'm the same way. They're just a little higher on my list.
Yeah, they can flip flop places
Yep.
depending on what I'm thinking about that day.
However, I will say that if it's Christmas, Hawkeye wins by a long shot. If it's like Christmas time, Like we're watching that as part of our Christmas movies and TV shows in my family.
Gosh. All right, my next one is Eternals. Cinematic. I enjoyed that. I loved the character development throughout the different characters, and I'm also really excited about the introduction of Black Knight.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be pretty cool.
And Blake.
Next for me was Moon Knight, and the only reason I put that one below Hawkeye and Loki, I would say that it's tied with those three, but I feel like that one had a lot more explaining to do, and it didn't quite get there.
I feel you.
So maybe when season 2 comes out,
Yeah.
I'll feel a little better about it.
Right. Okay. Jordan?
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm also in the same boat as Chris. Like literally, I've got Loki, Hawkeye, and Moon Knight right next to each other. So next up would be either Loki or Hawkeye again, but also I'll throw Moon Knight into that like same like they're all three are side by side on my list because it's like
same.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed Moon Knight probably a little bit more just because of my love for Moon Knight. But yeah,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange is next for me. It had all the boxes, but just, it's not my favorite.
Hawkeye and or Loki.
Yeah. Jordan?
Doctor Strange. Is that right?
Here's where we'll say Moon Knight.
Okay. Next up, WandaVision for me. I think that one was it was like one of the first big things out of Phase 4, and it was so unique. I think it had to be
Yes.
higher up on the list, on the higher part of it.
Yeah.
Loki and or Hawkeye. Take your pick. Switch them around. I don't really care.
It's Loki for me. Loki was great.
And now we're in top 4 right now. So Spider-Man.
Wow.
You're already in your 4. I'm in 5. Me and Jordan are in their 5s right now because
five.
Loki is number 5 for me too.
Yeah, so then y'all just give us 2 more.
Okay. Next up for me would be Thor.
Yep.
I love Taika. I love his comedy. So
Moon Knight's next for me for 4.
okay. So it's your 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're 4.
My 4 is Spider-Man.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's pretty high. That is pretty high.
It was pretty high. I'll give it to you, but
I'm looking at your other ones. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine next up would be Moon Knight. Just because I love the mental health thing out of it all, and I think Oscar Isaac easily has one of the best performances out of Phase 4.
Agreed.
Who did better than him in Phase 4? Probably no one.
He's just good. I mean, other than maybe Christian Bale.
No. No.
But you get to see more of Oscar Isaac. So
I love Christian Bale, but I'm gonna say no.
also Tim just has a giant man crush on Oscar Isaac.
I do,
This is
but
true.
it's warranted.
It's
Fair.
It's fair.
It's
Entirely
Really
valid.
fair.
So
Right
for
there with
me,
you.
I think next mine would be Shang-Chi.
Mm.
That was just a really cool martial arts movie. Really great representation of different cultures. It was just a good movie.
Is this your number 3?
No, that's my number 4.
Oh, okay. So you're number
3.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did we get out of whack?
I don't know.
Probably 'cause we did too.
Our numbers. Yep, it's fine.
We screwed up. That's all right.
I got WandaVision at 3.
Okay.
Very
Wow,
good,
that's
very
high
good.
up there.
It is great.
I have
great.
Falcon and Winter Soldier as 3.
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Wow.
Don't look at me that way. I
Hey, you
enjoyed
can
it.
look at me too.
Falcon,
It was all right.
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
It was really just one long movie.
It was one long movie. I really enjoyed the pacing of it. I really enjoyed
Could have just made a
seeing
movie out of that.
John Walker, his descent
Yes.
into madness, and he was such a John Walker's character is up there for me with Kamala Khan with being like one of the most like accurate to who he is. As I was a little like bothered by how long Bucky was super self-loathing
Yes.
in that movie, like
Yes.
in
He's
that
a
movie,
broody
in the show.
boy.
Like it's like I'm like, yeah, I really just wanted him to just kind of embrace who he was a lot,
Right.
Yeah.
a lot faster.
I felt like at this point in his timeline, in his existence, he should have already been past some of these barriers, if that makes sense. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that he's been through therapy, like obviously we see that in the show, but even still, the way he was portrayed in Endgame, it felt like he was already past some of these barriers, and I felt like they went backwards a little
I
bit.
feel like we
for
didn't
sure.
see a lot of him in in those last 2 movies, though. To be fair,
Yeah, it's true. True. All right, so this is my number 2. So everyone.
Let me do my number 3 then real quick so
Oh,
I can
it'll
keep
come
up
back
with
to me
you
then?
guys.
Okay.
Yeah, then we'll go back to you. Mostly because I'm better than you. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
So my number 3 was Miss Marvel.
Wow, you really
I really, really liked that show.
okay?
Yeah.
Like top tier for me.
All
I
right.
loved it.
Fair enough. Okay, my number 2 was Shang-Chi. I mean, dude, it was just good.
was
The
so
action,
good.
I think, was probably this movie is probably my favorite action in all Phase 4. I think just the martial art, the hand-to-hand combat was just phenomenal.
I agree with that.
The
100%.
father-son dynamic was beautiful.
The dragon.
The dragon. Come on.
Dragon.
Who doesn't like a
Who
dragon?
doesn't like a good dragon?
Yeah.
Everybody loves a good dragon.
Yeah.
And then what's
Iron Fist was robbed. He never got a dragon.
True. His dragon sucked. But
So-
it
so did
also
his
was
show.
Netflix. So maybe
Yeah.
the MCU will fix it.
Maybe.
and then what's the actor's name? Shang-Chi.
You know,
Simu Lee.
Simu. I don't know. How to
Yeah, I don't
say
want.
it.
I'm
Simu.
going to mispronounce it, but he's really good. I think he's a great addition to the MCU. So, anyways, that was my number 2. Chris, what is your number 2?
Simu Liu. There you go. My number 2 is Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Hi.
I really enjoyed that show. I would have loved to see more of Isaiah Bradley,
Oh, yes.
the
Yeah, I
forgot
older
about him.
black.
See, and that's what I
Captain
wanted
America.
more of. I wanted more stuff like that in Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think that was lacking in this
Yeah.
show, and I know why because they need to build up to all this. But it's like it's right there.
Oh,
But
yeah. I
also-
totally forgot about his grandson.
His
Yeah, I was
grandson,
gonna
too.
say his grandson is gonna be part of the Young Avengers probably if they keep going. If Marvel is
Or West Coast,
still
yeah.
successful.
Yep.
But one of the things that I really like, aside from the obvious parallels of a black guy taking on the mantle of Captain America, getting all the racial hate and all that stuff, is I feel like the intention was to not give you Isaiah Bradley's story because in black culture you don't get a lot of the ancestor stories because they're gone or they can't talk about it or whatever have you.
Yeah.
Like you just have to deal with it. You get what you get, and that's it. That's all. I think that was an intentional decision, even though I hate it.
That's a great point.
Great.
All right, this is your number 2.
Yep. Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. Yeah, it's just
loved it.
it's just a solid movie.
So good.
Justin.
WandaVision.
WandaVision.
I knew it.
Yeah.
It was such a big thing. Yeah.
For me, WandaVision was like, hey, I have a huge love for Wanda. I always have.
Same
Oh.
here.
Elizabeth Olsen. My God.
My God.
I mean, not just that, but like even in the
She all right.
comics, even when all the mutants hated her because she kind of wiped them out, and then they called her the Pretender because she was no longer a mutant anymore. All that fun stuff. But all that to be said, like I thought that was it was such an ambitious show. It's
Yeah.
so unique in its concept.
Yeah,
it's
that's-
so weird.
I think that's the only reason why it went down a little bit in the rankings for me is because I felt like episode 6 was a little bit of a disappointment. I think the finale was not as.
It was 9 actually.
Oh, you're right. It was longer than that.
Yeah.
I'm so used to all these 6 episode ones
Yeah.
now. But yeah, the final one was just. I don't know. I felt like I needed something.
Well, it was
felt
supposed to
weird.
be Doctor Strange, but COVID.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good point.
So
And honestly, I'm glad that they didn't do Doctor Strange because I feel like it would have messed with how we got Doctor Strange and her villain turn. And I feel like some people will say like they saw the show and then her villain turn seemed like left field, and it's like she's literally reading the Darkhold at the end.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like if you know anything about the Darkhold, if you've watched any of the other Marvel TV shows, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Runaways, which both have versions of the Darkhold in it, it's like, yeah.
She ain't good anymore.
It's like,
that
don't-
thing was good.
Don't do that.
Can you see her hands? That's a pretty good indication
Yeah, it's
of
like
what's happening there.
Step 1 is don't read the Darkhold. Just don't. So it's like
How not to be a villain? Don't read the Darkhold.
Yes.
Yeah.
it corrupts by its very nature. And if you know anything about Marvel Comics, you're like, oh, this is not
Weighs a
good.
heavy toll.
Yes.
So I mean, I really thought that it was top tier for me.
Yeah. All right, number 1s, guys. Here we go. This was actually weird for me because I did not expect this movie to be number 1 for me. It was actually really close with Shang-Chi, but because of just nostalgia's sake and just because of Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I think it clicked all the boxes, and
All
I think
of them and more.
Yeah.
I think it was the best theater experience too out of all of them. Even though I really enjoyed some moments in Thor, I think this one just had that build up. Same thing like Endgame. So, yeah, I think this one it didn't disappoint at all.
Yeah.
It was already high on my ratings anyways. So
I agree. I agree with most of that.
Janelle and I were talking about Spider-Man this morning. Like that's my number one as well for that reason. It was just such a good experience to go see it in theaters with people that are also really excited about it.
Yeah.
It's one of the most well-known Marvel comics of all time. One of the most well-known comics of all time.
Yeah.
I think
Fictional
he
characters.
is the number one selling character for Marvel of all time.
Oh yeah, I bet.
For sure for Marvel. I would maybe even over Superman a little bit now. With I would doubt.
As far as like reputation, and
just because of the way the DCEU's killed everything with Marvel or with Superman.
Yeah.
But yeah, Spider-Man number one.
You're number one. Jordan?
Spider-Man's number one.
Yeah, man, I am. That's number 4, man. Wow, yeah. Shang-Chi is my number 1.
That's worthy.
And
no fight here.
It could lift the hammer.
Yeah,
yeah.
And the thing for me with that was there's a lot of other things that I really had some deep cuts for for the super nerds in the room, like the Dweller in Darkness, the creature that was released. It's like, I was like, we're going there. Some loose Ghost Rider connections and things like that. I'm like, okay, I'm really interested to see where all of this shakes out. But
yeah, I'm really, really pumped to see the future of Shang-Chi too.
Yeah.
All right, that is our Marvel discussion. We got a whole lot more, so let's talk about Star Wars. We were halfway through at the last episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and now we are done with it. General thoughts about the show in general?
I think it was the most amazing piece of Star Wars media I've seen in a long time.
I agree.
I would mostly agree.
I checked all the boxes.
I would say actually season 6 of Clone Wars was up there for me.
Wait, is that
the last season with Ahsoka?
The last season?
Yeah.
Okay. It's close.
Fair. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I was like, when I watched that, I was like, I didn't know Star Wars could be this good.
Except for those 3 middle episodes with Bad Batch, but other than that.
Backdoor Pilot, we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Even Bad Batch was all right, though.
I haven't watched it.
Okay, so one of the things I loved about Obi-Wan, and especially we see it through, like, going through after a few episodes, like, a lot of these episodes reflected the movies based on the episode. Mm-hmm. So by the time we get to episode 4, which is where we start here, it's a rescue mission. Obi-Wan is out to rescue Leia. And it is episode 4, almost not scene by scene, but it's very similar. Like even the part where Obi-Wan's hiding and he makes this little noise to distract the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
I loved that. I loved like these little things. And I love that at this point we're seeing Obi-Wan become himself again, because once we get to that part where they're down below in the water and he has to hold the water back, I think that was one of my favorite Obi-Wan.
That was the coolest
That was
shot.
so dope. Man, to him holding back the water and the glass and everything to let Leia and Tala come, like, run through. Man, that was just... I love that. One quick thing I want to talk about with episode 4 was the Jedi tomb. That was because we had Tara. Is it Sinub was her name? The lady, the Jedi who worked in the. Because we see her in Clone Wars because she helped out Ahsoka find her lightsabers after they were was it stolen or lost or something like that. And then you had the younglings in there. I'm wondering if we're going to get any more of that kind of backstory stuff, because obviously they didn't really go into all the cloning, but why would you bring that up if not to like totally dismiss it?
But the Jedi tomb?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it might just be like a trophy room.
I know, but I want more out of it. I need I don't know. I felt like it was too much. Like,
yeah, I mean,
not in a bad way, but just like it's teasing us too much.
Yeah, I feel like the Inquisitors are the kind of people who would keep it. Also, Vader's the kind of person who would want that.
Trophies and or experiments.
Yeah, and my hope is to honestly move away from all of that. Like, we've got the beginning, we got the end of that saga. Like, let's.
Well,
I kind of want to
I don't
either
mean
jump
within
way
Obi-Wan.
back or jump forward.
I want forward. Anyway,
Same.
yeah,
I went forward, please.
Well, I don't mean like within Obi-Wan. I mean with like even Ahsoka. Like if we see
Yeah.
that touched up with Ahsoka,
Yeah.
I don't know how, but
yeah.
I mean, I'm down for any Ahsoka storyline.
Right.
You know me, like
Yeah.
Ahsoka's my favorite.
Yeah.
Ahsoka can never die.
No.
Please never kill her off.
all right, episode 5, Clone War flashback. Finally got it. All the haters were like, where's my Clone Wars? Like, here it is, guys. And I think it was totally worth the payoff. Because like, look, I know, I don't know which one of you guys likes to send me Soups all the time. What's his name on TikTok? Yeah, Soups on TikTok. I was really pissed off at him because he was like, oh, this show is not that great. I wanted Clone Wars. I'm like, just be patient,
Yes.
man. Yeah.
Soups
just,
pissed me off.
Spoiled
Yeah.
brat.
Yeah.
Every I feel like especially now, because we've also gotten so used to getting movies, and we got the decade of getting bingeable shows before streaming services start doing
Yep.
weekly releases. It's like now we want a full story all at once, and it's like it's the same thing. It's my feelings on The Last Jedi are parallel this. It's like people say The Last Jedi sucks only because it didn't pay off in The Rise of Skywalker, and that's because of Disney's reaction to the people screaming online.
Well, that's not Johnson's fault though.
No, and it's not. But I'm saying it's you say something sucks because in the middle it hasn't done what you want it to do.
Oh yeah.
Whereas it's like you can't judge it until you get to the end.
Right.
Yeah, right.
It's like
Yeah,
it's
I
like
see
if
what you're
you
saying.
look at a middle by itself, you're like, okay, this doesn't give me anything. It's like, well, yeah, because it's building something.
Right.
It's like, what does it build to?
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that you like now. It's like people want this instant gratification, but usually when pieces of media where we get that instant gratification as a whole, it usually doesn't hold up well.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think in this episode was really cool. Some of my favorite parts was his when he was talking to Reva. You're not bringing him to me. I'm bringing him to you. I was like, oh shit. Obi-Wan's back. He's in this. And
Yeah.
then
Oh, Vader.
Vader pulling the ship back, stopping it,
Yo,
pulling it
the
back,
Ripping
Force
everything
Unleashed,
off.
Yes.
The Force Unleashed reference.
Oh,
gosh.
but also I want to say shout out to Hayden Christensen for being Vader. And you know, some people are like, does it matter that he's in the suit if it's just him in the suit?
Yes, it
And I'm gonna
does.
be like, oh yes, because it's like you really start to feel that connection between
Yeah.
Anakin from the prequel trilogy and Vader.
Right.
With even just the body language, the way he reacts when he's angry,
Uh-huh.
and the arrogance.
Yes.
Oh my
You
God.
can feel it.
And you know what? That makes me feel a little. This show in particular made me feel a little bit more grateful for the prequels. Because don't get me wrong, I don't hate them by any stretch of the means, but it makes you kind of respect how George created Anakin, because it does help create that bridge between this man-child, basically. Granted, he was a general, but he's had great arrogance, great pride, and you see that portrayed out in the original trilogy. And so I think this show really did a great job, especially once we get to episode 6, where we see Anakin really come out, literally.
Bro, the lightsaber fight in episode 6,
Yeah.
right after he cut his mask,
Yeah.
the cinematography of that
Ooh,
scene. Just,
yes.
boy.
like, anytime he was talking to him like Obi-Wan to Anakin, like the blue lightsaber was
Yes.
reflected on his face. But when
Yes.
it was like Vader, when he started like falling back into the dark side, the red lightsaber
Yeah.
was
Even his
glowing on his
his
face.
eyes,
His
too.
eyes
Yeah.
would change and they would glow the
There's
Sith
a
red.
parallel to Rebels when he fights
Yes,
Ahsoka.
yes, same
Yeah.
thing.
And she
Yeah.
cuts his mask open on the other
Same
side.
thing. Same thing.
And I think that was the moment when
Which
she
makes me
realized
ask, how many masks does Vader actually have? Does he like swap these out? Like, this is my Sunday mask.
quite a few. If you actually look at all the designs, they're
It's gonna
they're different.
Yeah, he
change.
has at least 3.
It's something like I think it's like 7 different ones that
That's
we see.
intense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this show, it wrapped it up in a really great way. I love to see. One thing I'll mention here is Owen and Beru, totally different. You know,
It really puts into perspective
It really
why
does.
the stormtroopers burned down their entire house.
those guys
Like,
were fighting it out at the end.
Yeah.
like they weren't going down.
It
without
wasn't
a
like
fight.
a surprise attack, probably. Like they were fighting back.
Yeah, man.
And also too, just like his attitude towards Luke. It's like you see him as this crouchy up man if you watch A New Hope by itself.
Right.
But then it's like he has this perspective of because you don't understand watching A New Hope by itself what the Jedi are, you know, and a lot of people have a hard time separating from seeing the prequels and then getting the new trilogy. It's like it's 20 years. How are you a myth at
Yeah.
this point?
Yeah.
But it's like just the number of Jedi that exists, but he's seen it all, so he wants to keep Luke as far away from him as
Right.
possible. Especially with having Reva come to his house and all that. And then it's like, oh, this is why you limp. It's Reva.
Yep. Yep. All right. Last question for Obi-Wan. Are we wanting a season 2? And are we potentially wanting a
No.
Vader
No.
series?
No.
We're not gonna get it.
I don't want a season 2. I would be fine with a Vader
I'd be
limited
cool with
series
the Vader series if it went through like the Vader comics.
or something just paralleling that. Anything of his adventures that doesn't even necessarily have to tie
Yeah.
drastically to the mainline story. I just want to see Vader being Vader.
Yeah. I'd be fine with that. I don't want it necessarily, but I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I
I
wouldn't be
definitely
mad. but-
don't want another Obi-Wan story.
Same.
Yeah.
I think that it's standing alone.
I think Obi-Wan is done.
Okay. All right, let's move on. We can get through these pretty quickly because some of us didn't watch everything. 3 shows that we want to mention that we feel like are nerdy that came out and finished was Stranger Things was number 1.
Woo!
Top
Top tier.
Such a good show.
10 out of 10. 20 out of 10.
I give like a 7.
Stop.
I'd
Alright.
say 9. 9 out of 10.
Can we remove him from the podcast?
I was gonna say, can we like?
No, hear me out.
No, Tim. I don't.
I think number 1 was the best one, and I think number 2 was number 3 was good. This one is, I don't know. I felt like there was too much hype behind it, and it was good. And I enjoyed it, but
I don't know any of the hype behind it, but a 7?
maybe
Okay.
7.5.
No,
but-
it doesn't make it any
whoa.
better, no.
Okay, I need you to understand.
Yeah.
I need you to understand how
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
I'm both.
Oh my god.
I thought I was gonna die watching those last 2 episodes because
Bro.
my heart rate was so
Yes,
high.
yes,
I was
yes.
like, "Is this healthy?" Like, no, and it was so good.
It's perfect.
Maybe 7's a little low. Maybe 8. But my point.
9.5 at the very
Nine.
least.
And up.
9.
My mic is falling.
I'd say 9.
I'm gonna say a 10.
I mean, it was definitely a 10 for me.
I think.
Absolutely, 100%. It was the best season of Stranger
It was
Things.
just.
Oh,
it
for
was-
sure.
hands
Definitely the
down.
best season.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Besides number 1.
Also,
Yes!
also, can we talk about Kate Bush for a second? Because
she's making money.
$3 million of
that
royalties.
that song has been
Oh, yeah.
so used since that show.
Yeah.
has
Oh yeah, it's
aired.
been all over TikTok and
She's
everything.
banking now.
She's making so much money. And I
Also,
don't.
Master of Puppets.
I'm
too.
not even sure if she knows like what happened, but like
I'm
in my
sure she
head, I'm
knows.
sure she does. But in my head, I'm hoping like one day she just opens the mail and gets this fat ass check, and she's just like, "I gotta call my agent."
Yeah, right.
What's going on? He's like, "Oh, you're part of this show, Stranger Things."
Oh, she watches it, by the way.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm well aware. Just in my head
Oh,
canon, like
yeah,
this is how it
yeah,
happens.
yeah.
She's just like, I don't know what that is. He's like, "Don't worry about it. You're making money."
All right. Well, I guess we'll just leave it at that. Y'all hate me, and
We're gonna hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So much hate.
I'm
So
good
much
leaving
hate.
that there.
I mean, I am excited about season 5 because I'm excited about where they're going to. I think that was what it was. Is I feel like
I just want it to be over.
yes, I feel like it's gone too long. I think that's what it is. No, hear me out.
I like how Jordan and I have the exact same reaction in this moment.
I enjoy it, but I feel like it needs to be shorter. Like, but it's too spread out. That's what I'm saying. I think some of these main points are too. I enjoyed a lot of the themes behind it all, but I don't know.
I'm really liking. I think 5 seasons is a very good number.
Very good.
I'm liking the journey that they've
The
gone
character
through.
development too.
Character development, aging, growing up.
But there
adolescence.
hasn't been any real true sacrifice. There hasn't been any real like
Eddie Madison,
everyone
rest
that's
in peace. But
everyone that dies has always been introduced in that season.
We will find out when season 5 starts and see if Max is still alive.
She's
I
not
mean,
going to die.
she's halfway there.
She's not.
I don't know.
I think
They
Will.
planned on
I
killing
think
her
Will,
initially.
I think Will's gonna die.
I hope Will dies. I'm just kidding. No,
I
they
think
can't touch Will.
no,
They
honestly,
can't touch
dog,
Will.
that's what
Mike
they were
needs to die.
saying.
Mike is okay. Also, sorry. Side note:
We
the
need to
thing-
get rid of Mike. We
my-
need to get rid of Jonathan. Just replace him with Argyle.
My big beef in the series is with the season was when Will's like, Mike, you're the heart. I'm like, Dustin. It's Dustin.
Dustin is the
It
heart.
is Dustin.
100%.
Don't tell Mike, you're worthless. Why do you have 2 separate people in love with you in this series? Sorry, Will.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Will is gay. He's a baby gay.
Oh, it's
in love with-
official.
Yeah,
Hasn't it
like,
been
in love
confirmed?
with-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been confirmed.
I mean, that's
by
what the actor said. So yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm like, Will, to me, Will is textbook baby gay in love with his best friend
Yeah.
and doesn't know how to handle it, especially because it's the 80s.
Truth.
Yeah.
We also see that with Robin,
Yeah.
and
That I didn't really enjoy that.
I really enjoyed that and just the way they portrayed it, and I really enjoy how well Steve handled it.
everything to work out for Robin.
I
really
want everything
do.
to work
I
out well
really do.
for
Yeah.
Robin too, but it's also just like it's the 80s. I'm so scared for you, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, they're doing a spinoff too, right?
Yeah, I've heard about
Wait,
it.
what?
It's gonna keep going.
A
Yeah.
spinoff?
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
doing
I've heard
a
it.
spinoff. Netflix is making a spinoff.
I haven't heard anything about
I
it.
have not heard anything about that
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know how I feel
Netflix
about
has to make money somehow.
I mean,
Hey.
yeah, you know what I mean. They
well,
lost
they're
a lot
gonna
this
start
year.
doing ads. That's how they're gonna make money.
Apparently, yeah.
Honestly, I think that's a smart decision on their part. Having an ad supported tier because it doesn't affect those of us who are already paying, because it's going to be a lower cost tier, not like they're going to do ads for the
it's just like
people.
with Hu-
for
like
now,
Hulu.
It's like
for
Hulu.
now,
It's just
for
like Hulu.
now. That's
But
how it always
but I mean,
starts.
prices are going to go up
That's how it
as
always
it's going to
starts.
always go.
Yeah.
But as long as I can pay
Give
for
it a
ad
year.
free,
Because I think for the past 2 years, I've gotten like 4 emails where they raise it by just $1.
Right.
But now
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
paying $4 more than I was initially
and you know what? And
for the same thing.
I feel you there. And you know what? I don't pay for Netflix. My sister does. So
I don't pay for any.
You know, I get
streams.
mad, but I pay for Netflix, and I don't think I pay for. No, I pay for Netflix. I pay for Hulu. I think that's it.
Yeah. Me and my sister would
use
share a
my
lot.
Disney, don't you?
I have 2 separate Disney accounts, depending on which TV I'm on.
Oh my!
It was ridiculous.
All right, we got to move on. Okay, so Umbrella Academy. You, Justin, have not seen it, correct?
I have not seen it.
Everyone else has?
Phenomenal show.
Very good.
I really appreciated how they handled everything
Yes.
Yes.
with
Elliot Page.
Elliot Page.
Yeah.
And I love my favorite interaction was when Elliot came out to
Oh, her brother.
the big one, number one.
Gorilla Guy.
Oh, well, God, what's his name?
Number one. He's number one.
I know, but what's his actual name?
Oh, no. They're all numbers to me. I don't know.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's number
I
one.
want to say Lucas, but that's not it.
Throw a party?
Yeah, so he was like, no, we need to throw him a party or something. Like, he's our brother. We need to celebrate this step in life. And Diego was like, no, we don't. We don't need to do any of that. That's a stupid idea. He doesn't want it to be made a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, why do you want to throw a party so much? This is just about you.
Yeah.
And he goes, why do you hate tiny sandwiches?
Yeah.
That was the best part.
Yeah, I really did enjoy this. It was a fun. Elliot Page did great. I did enjoy that transition. I liked the storyline. I will say this: I am getting a little tired of Umbrella Academy's endings.
Yeah.
Only because they keep ending it in this place to where they're not back in their original universe.
Luther, not Lucas. Luther.
Ah, yes.
And it's getting kind of irritating.
It's like chaos at the end, always.
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 I think that's kind of the point, though.
There is a resolve to
Yeah.
they fixed where they were at, but now there's somewhere else and there's a bigger problem. I just want them to be back in their universe to solve a problem there. Does that make
It's the
sense?
original problem.
Right. Yeah, exactly. They actually, if you really think about it, they haven't fixed the original problem. They haven't reached back home yet.
No, they haven't.
I think the whole thing behind that, though, is like all of the problems continuously beat them.
Yes.
And they're just thrown into another situation
Right.
to try again, and then they lose again. They actually haven't won any of their battles.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really cool difference between Umbrella Academy and mainstream comics.
True.
It's like,
It's like I remember seeing Infinity War. With
how it's gonna end.
But like in the end of Endgame, there's going to be some sort of victory.
Yeah.
But like even just seeing people come out of that movie, like when it ends, it was quiet.
Bro,
Yeah.
my dad called me crying, and I freaked out because I thought my granddad died. I was so worried. He was crying, like I could hear him on the other side, and I was like, "What is going on? Are you okay? What happened? What's going on? Is Papa all right? What happened?" He goes, I saw Infinity War. I was like, are you kidding me right now?
Oh god.
You are a 50-year-old man. That is not okay. Don't call me like that.
Oh my gosh.
There's
Yeah.
nothing like that experience though. Just sitting there, it's like, wait, that's it. Like,
Especially with people who aren't like in the
That
comics.
didn't
Yeah.
know.
I sat next to a guy who I used to work with. A bunch of us went, and he's like, "Is that it?"
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, "They just die?" I was like,
I think like 6 people in
Yeah.
the theater said that all at the same time. Is that it?
I was like, yeah.
They
Because
didn't
I had
have
already
credit
seen it.
scenes, no? They didn't have any credit scenes for that movie, did they?
I don't think
No.
so.
I don't
think
remember.
No,
any.
because
Wait.
yeah,
it
there's
was
the
it was
Ant-Man.
no, it was Marvel.
Was that Marvel?
Because it was in between
Oh,
the
yeah,
Infinity
yeah,
War
yeah,
and
yeah,
Endgame,
yeah,
so
yeah,
the
just
Marvel.
that
Pager.
Yeah, the pager.
There was the pager, and then there was what was the one where she showed up and she was like, "Where's Fury?"
That was her own movie. No.
That was her own movie. It was her own
It was
movie.
at the end of her own movie.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, it was.
which also just did not line up with everything.
No.
But we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Slight retcon.
All right. So Umbrella Academy, thumbs up. Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs
100%.
up. Okay. And last but not least, The Boys.
Yes,
The Boys.
absolutely great. Love it.
Oh my God.
Hero-gasm.
My God.
I called it. I
did.
freaking called
You
it.
did.
Oh my
You
God,
did.
I called it.
What did you call?
Hero-gasm.
Oh,
I knew they were going to do it.
Oh, yeah.
It was not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Okay, here's just my list of things because we got to get going. Here's my list of favorite things that I just loved in the show. Soldier Boy, I think Jensen did fantastic. I think that representation of what Captain America would be like in our day and age,
Yeah.
absolutely right on. I loved the Black Noir backstory.
Way different from the comics, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, in the comics, he was just a straight-up clone of Homelander
Oh, interesting.
that basically can't fly.
Wow.
Oh, he can fly.
Or he
actually.
can, he just didn't.
He just didn't. He was also the one who actually was the one who did everything to Butcher's wife.
Yeah,
It wasn't actually Homelander.
Ugh.
And
but Homelander never knew. He genuinely thought he did all that stuff.
Oh,
So Ryan is technically Black Noir's kid in the comics.
interesting. Okay.
Again, though, clone, so a DNA test would still say it's Homelander's
Yeah, but he
kid.
also doesn't survive though either.
Yeah, well,
But
Nobody does.
Kind of just
yeah.
he just kind of strangles him in the crib, kind of deal.
Billy Butcher, I enjoyed.
Yes.
I enjoyed his growth in this season. I feel like there wasn't that much growth between all of the characters. I feel like his was the biggest.
It was the biggest growth of all the characters, I think, but it was also like that big.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll put it back on the. I say like Annie and
Huey and Annie's relationship.
Their relationship had a lot
Yeah,
of growth.
their relationship had growth.
Because Huey
but
always
what
wanted to
changed?
save. Huey always wanted to save her, even though
Yeah.
Annie was like, "I don't need to be saved," and he would always take that step, whether she wanted him to or not. That's why he
But
ended up taking.
wasn't a repetition though of last season?
Yeah, but like at the end, he moved past that because at the end he had the compound V,
Okay,
the tip
yeah.
V, and he opted to not take it and use the lights to try to give Annie more
yeah,
power
to empower her instead of
right.
doing it himself.
instead of being like doing the thing, because it was an issue of him, was the insecurity that he had,
Yeah.
that he moved past.
Yeah.
So I will
All
say
right.
that there was that development that I enjoyed.
Ironically, I think Herogasm was my favorite episode in the whole series.
That was gross.
It was gross,
was
but I think the
hilarious.
fight scene towards the end was just
Yep.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I think
Also, Homelander's reaction to
Yes.
Butcher's powers was
Really good.
I love
loved
that. Yeah.
I think it's cool that they had the same powers.
yeah, very similar. Yeah, I also do like the color difference. It's like, man,
it was good.
can't be giving everybody the same colored eye beams.
Yes.
Yeah. And the finale, I enjoyed it. Only I wish that someone actually would have died, like other than because obviously, wait, Soldier Boy didn't actually die, did he?
Nope.
No one died.
No one died.
Nobody died. Well,
'Cause
Like
a
Noir
lot,
did.
a lot of people died, but
Right.
Maeve
nobody
survived.
yeah.
Yeah, Maeve survived.
Yeah, but I think Maeve is gone, which I mean.
Oh
I
yeah,
can
no, she's
appreciate.
for sure done.
Yes.
Like she's out. Soldier Boy is done. They're just
Yeah.
But is he?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well-
we can get him back.
we could, but I don't think we will. I think bringing him back would be a mistake.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like they could bring him back in a episode down the road of like, hey, just kidding, he's still alive, even though everybody thinks he's dead,
Yeah.
and you have to deal with Soldier Boy again.
I don't know.
Shift things around instead of dealing with Soldier Boy dealing with Homelander. It's like teaming up with Homelander to deal with Soldier Boy because he's the bigger threat. So much.
All right. Well, guys, that is. Wait, thumbs up. Are we saying thumbs
Yeah,
up to
thumbs
the
up.
Well,
boys?
Thumbs up.
That,
I'll say
that last shot,
the ending.
the ending,
The ending scene where he kills that guy in public,
and
I was
the
like,
kid smiles,
yeah.
Oh, yes.
and the violin playing. I was like, this
Yeah.
this is great.
It reminds me of what is that movie? Blackburn.
Yeah.
Blackburn, yeah.
Brightburn.
Or
Right?
Brightburn.
Brightburn.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gives me those kind of vibes.
When he
like,
smiled,
oh, no.
I was like, oh shit.
It's like Butcher definitely messed up when he pushed him away. And it's like not understanding the kind of effect that that's going to have on the kid when he's trying to protect him.
Yeah.
But really, it's like the kid
like
doesn't need that.
And you can do that to Huey because Huey's an adult. He can make
he can make that
the decisions
Yeah.
in his mind. Like he can
Yeah.
process the information. Like, oh, that's just Butcher, and that's how he's helping me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to Ryan, like he
It's-
doesn't get
it's
it.
like, you're my mom's
Yeah,
friend.
Yeah.
like you're supposed to be. My mom said you would always protect me, and you're not
Right.
doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though he just didn't realize it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that is all of our hour and 15-minute reviews of everything.
We'll cut some time out.
Yeah.
I want to try my best.
If you cut that, ooh.
All right. We will be right back to briefly discuss some things coming around the corner. We'll be right back. All right, everybody. We are back for our last quick segment because Chris left us, and you know it's getting long when Chris leaves.
Yes,
So
we've been abandoned.
he said that he hated my takes from the rankings, so that's what we're at.
I was
I
gonna
stand
fo-
with Chris.
Yeah,
God.
I wanted to follow him, but it's all good.
All right, let's talk about just a couple of previews, things that are right around the corner that maybe we can throw some predictions out, throw some ideas out. First thing up, August 17th, we have She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. We have been confirmed that it's going to be 9 episodes,
nice.
which, other than WandaVision, is the only Marvel show we've had that is that long.
True.
Yeah, I think it's because they're targeting shorter episodes like WandaVision did initially. Like more.
Oh, you
of
think?
that- Yeah, because they said it was going to be more of like a half-hour
Mm.
kind of deal. So
Well, even like Moon Knight, it was the shortest one was like maybe 30 minutes, but the longest one I don't think went over 50.
Yeah, but I feel like the 40, 50 minutes, that's still giving you about the amount of content you get in like an hour TV show versus like WandaVision, your first 2 episodes, you had like 25 minutes of content, really.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So,
That's true.
I think it's probably for pacing that they're breaking it up that way. I'm excited for it, no matter what. She-Hulk is a character I love.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see. Wow, why am I breaking her saying?
Well,
Bruce Banner again.
I was going to say, considering the news that we talked about earlier with Daredevil and everything, are we expecting to see, like, even not Daredevil, but just Murdoch in there?
I'm not expecting. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw him.
Could be.
But I feel because I feel like the expectation is there. But I think that if they keep them both as defense attorneys, there probably won't be a ton of overlap there.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Okay. Any predictions about the show? I mean, they've been keeping the main premise of it pretty under wraps.
Yeah, they haven't really said anything about it besides that.
Yeah,
trailer,
no
but-
predictions, like in a good way. Same as with Shang-Chi. It's like, oh, we have a show, we got these characters. I don't have any predictions, any expectations. I just ready to see what they do.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, November 11th, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. A few things that have come out since our last episode. We know that, what's the actor's name? Is not going to be in it.
His first name is Daniel.
Yeah.
I know that.
He's in Nope. He's in...
I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name.
Yeah. He's not going to be in this, and it was because of...
Because of Nope.
Because of Nope.
Because, yeah.
Which is, it's just, it just... The only reason why it's very interesting is because you already have, of course, Chadwick Boseman is not going to be in it. You just kind of wonder, what are they going to do with this? And they haven't released anything regarding plot, regarding really what's going on, other than what we talked about earlier with Namor. But even then, that's just a leak of who knows what. It could just be a post-credit thing, as far as we know.
Nah,
There's a lot out there right now.
I feel like Namor is going to definitely be like an antagonist. The Atlanteans as a whole, I feel like, there's in the comics when the X-Men had the Phoenix Five, or the Phoenix split and possessed 5 of the X-Men. Namor was one of them, and he flooded Wakanda. And they went to war with Atlantis. So I feel like it's going to be something along that lines, like some sort of...
Do you think there'll be a war going on
like
here?
not necessarily a war, but a large-scale conflict with Atlantis.
Yeah. But we also have, of course, Ironheart's going to be in this, or at least the beginning parts
Her
of
suit
her
looks pretty
story.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see, man, how are they going to thread all this
Just
together?
be careful. They're, you guys know
Jordan flies close to the sun.
Yeah, I don't follow leak pages, but somehow they all end up on my Twitter. Black Panther is having the same problem Spider-Man is. I'll say that.
With like leaks and stuff.
Oh.
Oh yeah,
Fake
yeah.
leaks.
Yeah, and you know where I am? Not on that side of Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that is the Marvel part. DC, Black Adam. Since our last recording, we had a new trailer. This is a quote from Variety. The film will also introduce members of the Justice Society of America, an iconic group similar to Justice League. The superhero cast includes, Aldous Hodge as Hawkman, Noah Centineo as Atom Smasher, Quintessa Swindle as Cyclone, and Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate, which I'm actually really excited about. So how are we feeling about the JSA?
I mean, anything that puts Hawkman in the spotlight, I'm all about. I just hope it's good.
Yeah.
I think Henry will make an appearance in a credit scene. Henry Cavill.
Oh, I mean, look, if
That's my bold prediction.
here's weird. I will agree with you only because if there is one person in the DCEU Warner Brothers circle that will likes to get things done, it's Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
And he wants this fight between him and Superman.
I feel like it would make more sense to put Shazam.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, eventually,
Yeah,
it may not be
yeah.
in
Like-
this film,
Like
but
in like
he's
in
gonna
the
make it happen.
credit
No, I'm
scene.
saying in the credit scene, like Shazam, because they're both empowered
Yeah.
by the wizard Shazam.
Yeah.
So it's like their conflict is the basis of their characters. It's like Black Adam was imprisoned in the Rock of Eternity as the former champion who displeased Shazam, and then Billy Batson becomes the champion. And
Right.
Their conflict is their story, basically. So
Yeah.
it's like I feel like there has to be some conflict there between the two if you're gonna have both of them floating around. But then again, it's DC and they don't know what they're doing 82% of the time.
is true.
So
But if they're restarting, it would make sense to have Henry just make an appearance at the end. Like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
It. So I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
He seems down.
he's down.
oh, he's always down.
It's happening.
Yeah.
Speaking of The Rock, Thor. What's his face? Korg's partner at the end.
Yes.
That was so much fun.
Dwayne.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, oh, Dwayne, The Rock. He's The Rock. Yep.
Yeah.
Taika, you silly.
Yes.
All right, guys, is that all I have for the previews? Because we decided not to keep going because there's just so many things, and we already went really long. So, but those are the closest things to us, I think. I'm excited. I'm excited about what's coming down the road. This year is definitely a busy year for comic book fans and
It's
nerdy
gonna get
stuff.
busier next week.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, guys, before we close this show out?
Tim is wrong. Don't listen to his rankings.
Yes.
They're just no.
Yeah, he's wrong on
I don't understand how anyone can rank Falcon and Winter Soldier that low.
Look, and
You're
hear
gonna
me
get-
out. I'm a Captain America fan.
It's so low.
and-
It's too low. It's too low.
And
It's no. It's
Wasn't mine lower than yours though? No, it was a little bit higher.
yours
it was,
was
like
higher.
8.
Yours
It
yours
was
was also disappointingly low, but I'm gonna give it a pass based on how close you ranked everything.
Yeah.
But no, that was too low.
8. We're not even gonna talk
Sorry.
about Stranger Things. We're gonna
Oh my god.
as he's wearing a shirt.
I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy it. See, this is not me, and that's the funny thing about these rankings. Like, I don't not enjoy any of these things.
Cut the recording.
7
Cut
out
the
of 10.
recording.
7 out of 10. Oh
Cut.
my god.
But how is your rank then? Like, how do you like,
10 Stranger Things 10 out of
10 out
10.
of
10.
No, I know
10,
that,
10,
but
10, 10, 10, 10, 10,
10, 10, 10, 10.
no, that's too
10.
high. That's too high.
It's not
It's
too high.
high.
How is it too
Oh my
high?
gosh.
Okay, season
What?
3.
No.
Season 3 I would have given a 7.
Here's
Yeah,
my question.
agreed,
Season
agreed.
4
Here's
is a
my
10.
question. Where is your what else would you rate 10 out of 10?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
As far as like Netflix
anything.
goes,
No, anything.
Anything? This is also controversial, but The Last Jedi. No, actually, no, that doesn't even get a 10.
there's my problem
That's
right
a 9.
there.
That's a 9.5. Last Jedi still second best Star Wars movie, hands down. Man, I'm trying to think. There's not a lot of things that get 10 out
So
of 10.
you're telling me Stranger Things is better than anything that we've had in the past 5-10 years?
as far as shows go,
as far as
absolutely,
shows go, 100%.
100%.
Wow.
Yeah,
110%.
season 4 has.
Yes.
like Watchmen, I would rate higher than
Watchmen was really good. Watchmen is at least a 9 for me.
Yeah.
Maybe a 10. I'd have to sit and think about that.
Like,
'cause
that's the
it's less
closest thing
fresh.
to a 10 I've gotten.
Um,
Like comic book wise, or like nerdy stuff.
I would say the second episode of Obi-Wan was a 10 for me.
Yeah, that was high for me too.
The anxiety level. Oh my gosh. If a show makes me feel anxiety like that, it's good.
Yeah.
Also bad for my health. But no, 10. It's
10.
definitely a 10.
10.
It is a 10.
Well, see, that, I guess for me is I kind of saw some of this stuff coming with Stranger Things. Like, there was too much focus on him as the guy. What's his name? Number 1 when he was in the. I'm like, that guy's bad. I can tell. Like,
Oh yeah. I knew he was bad. I didn't know he was Vecna.
that
though.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I knew he was shady, but I didn't think he was Vecna shady because the crossing over to the Upside Down and him controlling the Mind Flayer.
But
all
why
of
else would
that-
you introduce him?
Because you're focusing on that past. Because we also had 2 who was also kind of bad.
Truth.
Who him and his friends tortured 11.
Yeah.
To be fair,
Yeah.
you know, so it's like there's a whole lot there that's going on with her past, and showing why 11 has her trauma that it didn't necessarily lead into 1 being Vecna, because it's like the Upside Down and like all of that showing that he made the Upside Down what it is.
Yeah.
All that, and that was controversial, but I'm fine with it.
10.
It's a 10.
I disagree.
Go
but
watch it again.
I mean,
no, I'm not going to watch all that again.
I
That's
also-
so much.
I also think
I want to watch it again.
I also think Eternals was like, honestly, for me, it's like at least a 7.5, maybe. An
I
8.
didn't rate Eternals that high.
No, I'm saying.
Oh, like a 10 out of 10.
I'm saying, or for me, it was a 7.5 to an 8. It was a weird movie, and I get why people rated it low, but I really thought it was a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then that's my thing too. Like, I have some friends who it's very a wide spectrum. Like, to me, I'm not going to be into this universe unless I enjoy it in general. Like, there are very few comic book films out there that are just bad.
Ghost Rider,
Right.
second Ghost Rider,
Like these earlier comic book movies,
the last Fantastic Four,
or like these
All of
companies like
DCEU.
Sony and Fox who don't know what
Anything
they're
Sony
doing.
has made.
Morbius.
Yeah.
Venom. Both of them.
Yeah, they're not good movies.
Yeah. So, and that's my point.
They made money, but they're not good.
Marvel, they there's nothing out there that's like horribly bad, disappointing.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah. So, okay. So my point is, like, my ranking is not going to be like there's very few things that are going to hit below that 6 mark. If that
get what
makes
you're
sense.
saying, yeah.
Nothing on my list was below a 7.
Same.
I don't think.
Besides, nah, I won't even say it. Don't stir up anything.
Besides what? Black Widow?
Hawkeye.
Oh my gosh.
See, I didn't. That could be close down there for me, but it
I
wasn't
don't
bad.
understand how Hawkeye was not like. Hawkeye was top tier for me, like for sure. Like it was so enjoyable. It was so fun. It was simple. It didn't have to tie into this larger universe. So
Yeah.
you just have Hawkeye being a crotchety old man, and he's got this young girl who wants to be him, and he's like, "You can't be me," except she's really, really good. And you're like, "Okay, maybe you can kind of be me." And it was fun. It was like a.
I think it felt the least Marvel-y. That's why I think it was so low for me. It's not bad. It's just it was very different.
And maybe for me it's too. It's like I read Matt Fraction's Hawkeye run, which a lot of the imagery in that was based off of, which was, both Clint and Kate, and it was like award winning. It was phenomenal. And there's a lot of that was based off of that too, and so it did feel very Marvel to me. And I think that my perspective feels Marvel is much broader because I read comics versus just the MCU.
Okay.
But no. But I'm saying it's like I really like when things.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm not to be like an elitist or anything. But it's like, I like when things hit like a different point.
I get
than,
what
like,
you're saying. Yeah.
The Iron Man, Captain
Yes.
America, like Falcon and Winter Soldier felt like a movie.
Yes,
and
it
then
did.
the TV shows have been branching out and hitting different.
Yeah.
And that's why they've been landing differently because people are like, oh, this doesn't feel as Marvel-y.
Right.
But I'm like, but it feels to me like more of the broadness that you get with comics, where you can hit different genres and it's not all just action punching bad guys.
I will say this is probably my final thought. I do hope that they start coming back like they're doing now with She-Hulk, where it's 9 episodes. Because I think that's my main issue with a lot of these other Marvel shows is just Moon Knight barely escaped it for me. Like, I think that was the exception to the 6-episode rule, but everything else just felt too short.
Yeah.
It's felt
This Marvel felt too short.
It felt like I needed more explaining. I needed more, like Falcon and Winter Soldier. I needed more of Mackie. I needed more of his. I don't know. It just felt like I didn't get enough out of him.
Oh,
And
Falcon and
not
Winter
as an
Soldier
actor,
felt
but
perfect for me because I like that it left you wanting more because it makes you want to see Captain America 4.
right. I still
I
that's
still want to though. Yeah.
I still want to either way.
But it's like I think that the only way that series could have ended well is the way it ended, if that makes sense. Like you can't make him be Captain America halfway through the series; it loses its impact because that series.
But here's the thing: all these MCU shows have this same trend going on, where they get to this episode 5 where it's like this. It feels like it could be over, but it's not. Then they reveal the costume at the very end.
Yeah,
and it's just like,
I do feel you on that. I mean,
all of them.
Yeah, I feel like Scarlet, like
Except for Moon Knight.
WandaVision was a little bit different in that regard. Like we didn't get her new costume till the end, but I feel like that journey was like bizarre. So I'm gonna take that one out of it. But I feel like definitely feel you, especially with like Miss Marvel, Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's not just Marvel. It's like TV in general. It's like you build up, and then either an episode or 2 or 3 before the end, you have your flashback episode, like the back in time shenanigans, and you have all this world building,
Right.
and then you have your conflict, and then your rapid fire last episode.
Yeah.
Your pacing is like starts, slows, flashback, chaos.
Well, see, I don't mind that. I don't mind that journey. I just need it longer.
I get you.
Yeah.
I don't mind that path. I just need it to be elongated.
Yeah. Because it was like 8. Because 4 is something where they usually just throw something at you.
Yeah.
And it would be nice to have, instead of like, I guess 5, but like to make it even 4 more that are like, you know, to carry that on. But I get what you're saying. But
Whew, man, that was a long final thoughts
Yeah,
here.
well,
Got a little passionate here.
yes.
Hey, we all disagree. It's all good.
That's fine. We're all
Yeah.
fans here. We're all
We are.
good. We're
We are.
all fine. Nothing's wrong here. Okay.
Yes.
We're gonna close out our show. Where can we find you, Sir Jordan?
You can find me everywhere at Jordan CRTV.
Justin?
Justin is Theory everywhere.
All right, and you can find Chris on Instagram at Captain_CT Ford and on TikTok at Christopher.Lionheart. And then you can find me on Twitter and TikTok and Instagram and everything at Timothy Lichty. Thank you again all for listening and for being a part of the conversation. And remember, there's always more than this. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello and no, okay. fuck. I thought it was just like one fluid, like our other intro song.
I was rocking with it too. I was like, okay.
Oh no, but hey, please keep that. Please keep that.
That'll be the intro. No, don't keep that.